want me to go first? Sure.
Well, you go, and I'll see if I agree with you.
I think I laid out my position very clearly when I said, you know, No Child Left Behind, education is basically a local function. And the federal government has gotten too involved in educational policy. And when they designed No Child Left Behind, what they ended up designing it for was to compile statistics, to give tests and compile statistics. They said it was for accountability. But a lot of the options that we have for accountability, we can't enforce it. Many of the things that they keep telling us is, well, if a school is failing, remove the principal, remove the teachers, do this and that. And we look at them and go, do you know what the state labor laws are in Connecticut? Those options do not work here. We can't do them. No Child Left Behind, because it was designed to be a compromise, ended up just being a compiler of statistics. They put a program together, they gave tests, and then as the federal government and the state government often does, they attach mandates to it, and they make you pie-in-the-sky promises, and then they don't follow up with funding. That's the problem we have with the state of Connecticut on educational issues. They pass these interesting things like you can't suspend kids out of school, and then they don't provide any money to provide for that. That's what No Child Left Behind has done. It has left a promise out there. It's compiled the statistics. It shows where you're failing, but it gives you no resources to deal with that failure.
Do we have other thoughts?
Yeah, I would just add to that for urban centers in particular, the biggest problem with No Child Left Behind is that there are arbitrary percentages that are set in timetables to meet those percentages, and they apply to everybody equally. So an urban center that already has a huge achievement gap, and say a suburban area like Simsbury or Glastonbury, our kids are expected to cross the finish line at the exact same time. And that's unreasonable to assume that children who may be coming into a school system at the basic or below basic level can reach proficiency or goal in the same time frame that a child from Glastonbury who may enter the system already at proficiency. So if you live in a suburb and the majority of your kids are entering the system already at proficiency or goal, basically your teaching staff doesn't have a difficult job because they're not charged to move that child to the next level. They're already at the acceptable level. Our teachers in New Britain, and many of you paraprofessionals who work with them, are challenged to take a child from a below basic level and move them up multiple levels in the same time frame. And we do have success, and we are moving kids, but when we take a child from below basic to basic, that's not considered a success. Even though you move them forward and they've had growth, it's not a growth model. Arbitrary percentages, a finish line we all have to cross at the same time. If you measured by growth, student achievement based on a growth model, New Britain would be succeeding.